Boxing Bros UK. I'm one of them. Be one of them yourself.
Hello, everybody. This is Boxing Bros UK. I am a His the Boss, Chris. This is my co-host, Andrew the Boxing Brain. Topic of the day is the Moses Itauma, Dillian Whyte undercards. Don't know if this is for definite, but there's a rumor going around online that it's going to be pay-per-view and it's going to be $19.99. On the DAZN website, there's nothing officially on the website saying that it's going to be pay-per-view. Nothing. There's nothing on there. Checked
official.
Official. But that's what's going around. It's pay-per-view. And there's three fights on there worth watching. And
we'll talk about after. So if you're interested in that, we're going to do the three big fights on the card as well. If you want to see that, stay tuned.
Stay later. But the pay-per-view, I just don't think it's a pay-per-view card. It just really isn't a pay-per-view. Like a pay-per-view card, you want at least a British title. At least. The main event is for nothing. It might be for an interim title, one of them Mickey Mouse belts.
Ranking,
For a ranking. But it's not like we've got, let's have it right. Most people think Dillian Whyte is going to get uppercutted in the first round and it's finished. Like, this is not a 50-50. Wow, so excited. Can't wait for this fight. It's not one of them. So it's not pay-per-view worthy for me.
It's a decent step up the ladder for Moses, but a paper we were talking just before because I wasn't completely aware. I'd heard some rumours, but I thought, is that on my £15 a month DAZN subscription? I'm sure we're the same. I would expect this to be part of that. It's a weird one because it's kind of a bit in between because the Hrgovic Adeleye fight's a good one. The Cacace, there's good fights on there, but I don't think it's quite pay. I think we have to be careful this pay-per-view stuff. You know, not like you say. There's not one world title on there. Nothing, is there? So
Nick Ball's a world champion, isn't he?
Nick Ball's defending his WBA feather. Actually, to be fair, Ray Ford Cacace. Cacace's defending his belt, but it's an IBO belt because he vacated the other one. Ray Ford's a former champion. He's moving up to weight, but we'll talk about that in a minute because we're getting onto that. Staying on subject. Well, I don't know. What do people think? Do people think this? I don't think this is quite pay-per-view. An extra £20 on top of the subscription. Yeah, it's
a bit. If I suspect that Frank Warren is running this card himself.
Yeah,
and the money that they needed for Dillian Whyte to pay Dillian Whyte to take this fight, they had. I suspect. It's just a theory that they had to do it on pay-per-view to pay Dillian Whyte what he wanted, you know? Like, so say, right, Dillian Whyte, 50% of the purse, like you get 50-50 share of the pay-per-view buys. So if it does shit, Frank Warren didn't have to pay out, kind of thing.
Because he must be being paid. I've heard sort of rumours of the amount, and it's a fair amount. And I saw a recent interview with Derek Chisora. Apparently Del Boy rang him up and said, "What are you taking this fight for? Like, are you mad? You must be getting low." Because I think Derek Chisora was offered $2 million, wasn't he? And he was like, "Nah." So look, Derek Chisora, he ain't one to turn down a fight, and neither is Dillian Whyte. But again, it's that kind of high risk. Can you think kind of what's Dillian Whyte right at 37, been inactive? If he beats him, he's beat a prospect. He's then kind of gets a chance, puts himself in line in the rankings for maybe one last shot a world title, so I can maybe see that, but the chances are he's going to get wiped out with it. He must not. Look, does Dillian Whyte think he can win? Maybe he thinks he must think he can win, Chris. He must do.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he thinks. I'm pretty sure he can. He must have some sort of confidence. Or will we see him just get knocked out for the payday? For the old says.
Because it is a strange one, Chris, isn't it? Because I like the fight. I think it's a good one for Moses, but it's a bit of a. I did find it surprising that Dillian Whyte, and don't be surprised if he pulls out. He does like to pull out late, Dillian Whyte. So there's still time for that, by the way.
Yeah, I was surprised. Please let us know. Do you think it's pay-per-view worthy or not? Like if there was if Moses Itauma and Dillian Whyte wasn't the main event and they had like a decent main event, I'd pay pay-per-view because there's a lot of good fights on there.
My last point is I'd have liked to have seen another heavyweight one on there other than Hrgovic Adeleye. If they'd have put a Cabiel in there against someone or whatever, or Parker, I don't know. I know they're in negotiations fights, but I think it needed another banger on there.
A Coley Riakporte, get them on there or something.
Something like that. Yeah. So moving on to the card then, Chris, right? We'll start with Adeleye Hrgovic, because this is a really interesting fight for me, this one. I was quite surprised about this. And I thought, well, because David Adeleye, obviously, he lost to Wardley his first attempt at a British fight. Flattered to deceive against James TKV. Quite reactionary. Seems to be counter-punching. Doesn't seem to be kind of letting his hands go. I've not been overly impressed. I mean, he's very heavy-handed. He's a good athlete. You know, he's a tough man. You know, Hrgovic has also flattered to deceive a bit. I don't think he can. I mean, he was just letting right hands go against Dubois, left, right, and centre, and Joyce. And Joyce has been put on the deck by Chisora recently. Yeah. You know, obviously knocked out by Zhang. And Hrgovic couldn't really do much with him in there. He, you know, Joyce walked forward all night. But he's a good fighter. You know, Hrgovic, he will let his hands go. He's got, you know, plenty of ability. I guess, is this a little bit of a step too soon for Adeleye? I mean, Hrgovic has been in and around world level for a while. He's fought much better opponents than Adeleye. Is Frank Warren cashing Adeleye out already? What's going on?
For me, this is bad matchmaking, and this is very unusual.
I thought you might think that.
By Frank Warren. This tells me that maybe he doesn't give a shit about... He's not seeing Adeleye as one for the future, basically. Because
that's what I thought.
Why a guy, who... He didn't look great in his last fight. He's a British champion, and he's never fought beyond that. And he hasn't proved himself... level. And he's not proved himself to be beyond that level yet, because... When he fought Fabio Wardley, don't forget, David Adeleye is an amateur, and he's got quite an all-right amateur record, and he just got absolutely obliterated by Fabio Wardley.
Yeah,
you know?
And we saw what Hooney was doing with Wardley in there, didn't we, for 10 rounds?
Like,
do you know what?
It's not a good matchmaking. Really think Hrgovic is going to give Adeleye a boxing lesson, and the only way he's going to win is with a puncher's chance.
It's a points win for Hrgovic. He's got a points win written all over it for me. I think... Unless Adeleye, the other issue with Adeleye, I'm not sure on his gas tank. He did seem to get. I don't know if that I'm maybe reading too much into it. Is he not letting his hands go as much because he's getting tired? He's struggling in the championship rounds. I'm assuming this is 12 rounds. Is it 10 or 12 rounds? I'm assuming it's 12 rounds.
I don't even think he's been 12 rounds before Adeleye. I don't think he's been 12.
But I'm assuming this will be 12 rounds against Hrgovic, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I might have to look on the box.
It'll be at least 10 anyway. It'll be at least 10.
It'll be at least 10. So is there a stamina issue there? I think the problem is, like you said, the problem is with this is that, all right, Hrgovic got through the fight against Joyce. I mean, he looked dog-tired against Dubois. You know, he's never been stopped. He hasn't been stopped in the pro games yet. He had obviously some bad cuts, but he's clearly got a chin on him because he didn't get rendered unconscious against Dubois. And Dubois probably got the heaviest hands in the division. So what I'm saying is, Adeleye doesn't have the punch output that Dubois has, Chris.
No.
Or at least we haven't seen it in there in recent times. So what has Adeleye got in there? What does Frank Warren see that he's got in there against a guy that's been in the top 10 for a while, has fought Zhang, fought Joyce, fought Dubois, fought these but a much higher level.
And give a good account of himself as well.
When, you know, what has Adeleye got? He doesn't seem to throw much. It's been knocked out. But what does he see where he thinks Adeleye can stop or beat Hrgovic? I like the fight because I'm interested in watching it because I think it's an interesting. But from Adelaye's point of view, and we're British, I'm supporting him. I find it a bit of a kind of. It's like throwing him in the ring of fire with a lion a little bit. It's like he hasn't even gone to defended his British title or anything.
Yeah. It's too soon. Too soon to be stepping up to that level. Too soon for him.
Yeah.
Right now. Definitely. And another thing...
I'd be surprised if anyone said any different in the comments and called us out for it. But
he's only got a puncher's chance in that fight for me. But another thing, does that mean that he's going to vacate his British title? Because he was ordered to face Jamie TKV. He was ordered to defend it against him. And if
what's going on with that?
If he
What's
doesn't,
going on with that?
he'll get stripped. If he don't defend it against him, he'll get stripped because he was ordered to do it next fight.
Yeah. Well, they're obviously there's going to be a bit of money. So maybe he's thinking, oh, fuck it, I've won it. But then I would have thought we would have wanted to have defended that once because it was a bit of obviously a controversial knockout.
Yeah.
Right that wrong. But look, Chris, maybe he's thought this is an opportunity in August on a good card for good money that he can't pass up. I think that must be the reason. But he's got a puncher's chance. He's heavy-handed. But this has got a Hrgovic points win all over.
Definitely.
Yeah. So on to the next one. Unless you had any more on that one. No. The next, probably, actually, we'll just start with Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman because this is quite a interesting one. This one, I'll just give you a few little stats before getting your thoughts, Chris. So obviously we know Nick Ball's the WBA featherweight. It should be the unified. Obviously he got robbed against Ray Vargas, didn't he? 22-0, 13 KOs for a featherweight's not bad going, is it? For such a small weight. We know he brings the heat, loves to fight. I like watching him. He's the type of guy. If you well, weird scenario, but if you was out having a street fight and you needed someone to help look after you, I'd probably bring Nick Paul and Golovkin. They'd be my two. I think I would trust them. In a street fight, I reckon they'd both be quite handy. Or Dillian Whyte, maybe. He's on a good run, beaten Doheny recently. Rios is in good form. Sam Goodman is an interesting one. The Aussies, 26, undefeated, beat Espinoza last time out. And I don't know if you know this, Chris, but he was meant to fight Inoue down at Super Bantam twice, and he pulled out because of cuts in sparring. Read into that what you will. Not sure many people want the smoke against Inoue, although Doheny got in there and tried. I think he beat
I want Nick Ball to have a go. I want Nick Ball to have a go against Inoue. No.
Yeah, if Inoue goes up, unless Nick Ball went down to that weight.
Nick Ball should never go down. Definitely shouldn't go down. If
I don't know. I think Inoue may go up one more division. I don't know. Listen, Sam Goodman, 20-0. He was quite highly ranked at Super Bantam, but he's moving up now. I think he's had one fight, not many. I don't even know if he's had one fight. He's not had many. I know that at featherweight. But he's a good fighter, got good pedigree. It's quite a good fight, but I see Nick Ball getting through this, Chris. But I don't think this is an easy one. A lot of people won't consider Sam Goodman. They won't have heard of him, but he's not a bad little fighter, Chris.
Yeah. I to be honest, I don't know much about him, but like we've seen with Josh Padley and others, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't never underestimate anybody. So
he's got a few good wins on his record as well. So
I'm looking forward to. I love watching Nick Ball's fights, same as you. Looking forward to this one, and this is like this one, and the next fight that we're going to talk about. The Adeleye one, this one, and then the last one. They're all really good fights, but still not pay-per-view. Definitely not.
Yeah. It's a really, really good Sky Sports DAZN show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they heavily promote. And then, it's one of them. So going on to the
This is like, see, Alan Fisher, that wasn't on pay-per-view, and it's that kind of quality.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to think what that had a couple of good fights on the undercard, actually. So moving on to the other good fight of the night. I quite like this fight, actually. With Raymond Ford versus Cacace. Raymond Ford's moving up to, I think he's had a couple of tick-over fights against Matisse and Gonzalez. I'll be honest, I don't really know too much about 2 10-rounders since he lost to Nick Ball down at featherweight. So he's moving up.
I thought he won that fight, to be fair, but
very close, to be fair. I agree. So he's obviously acclimatising to the weight. Although I always say, like, down at kind of bantamweight, featherweight, there's only often there's 5 pounds in between. It's not, I have shits more than 5 pounds. That's probably a bit inappropriate. But I don't know. It's not massive now. But, he's got to acclimatise to the weight. And, 22-1, he can bring the heat. He's a tricky little southpaw. Sorry, that was Nick Ball's record I was ringing there. That isn't his record. I haven't got it written down. But yeah, he's a tricky little southpaw. He's obviously former. Jay was the WBA champion at feather. Actually, though, this is a good fight, but I just think Cacace is going to be too big, too strong. He's coming off momentum, Cordina, Warrington, and Lee Wood are all good wins. You know, he's having a bit of an Indian summer. He's very big for super feather. Raymond Ford's coming up to super feather. He's a great fighter, Raymond Ford, but for me, Cacace too big, too strong. Disagree with me, Chris, if you would like. Or
I really like Raymond Ford, and obviously the fight before Nick Ball, like he really showed, as a lot of American fighters don't show, that he wants to win. And he will go out on his shield, and he'll bite down on his gum shield, and he'll do what's necessary to win a fight.
Round, win it? Not to 12th round.
Yeah, 12 for 11. You and even against Nick Ball, you seen he was losing rounds, and he came back. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm losing, so let's just try and get through the fight. Like he is a proper warrior. And he's one of the few American fighters that tries to win. I really got a lot of time for him. So, but like you say,
is he still under Eddie Hearn, Chris? Or is he?
He's still under Eddie Hearn. He's still under Eddie Hearn.
Or another. oh God.
Yeah,
I really want Cacace to win because he's a British, but I've got a horrible feeling Eddie Hearn's going to get.
I want Cacace to win because he's British, and I can't. I'm seeing when we get closer to the thing, I'll make a prediction. I'm sitting on the fence right now because Raymond Ford's a really, really excellent boxer. He's got that dog in him. I know he's not, these dimensions are a little bit smaller, but he's got good boxing skills. He's good at getting inside. And Cacace likes to have a tear up sometimes. And he likes to go at people and fight small, even though he's a big man. So really, really good fight. I can't make a prediction at the minute.
Who would you lean
big fans of both.
You lean. I sense that you're leaning towards Ford a little bit.
Yeah, I am, but I think it's just because I'm a big fan of his. That's probably why.
Yeah, well, stay tuned for the preview. If you're interested in this card and you've come to this video, we'll do previews closer.
Closer to the fight week, we'll do our previews.
But what I want to know is...
No sitting on the fence.
No, we never do here at Boxing Bros UK. Is it too soon for Adeleye? Nick Ball... You know, is he likely to underestimate Sam Goodman, who I think's decent? And Raymond Ford, is he going to be a little bit too small at super feather to fight Cacace? That's what I'd like people to mull over.
Give us your comments, guys. Let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe. It really helps. Peace.
Mwah. Beautiful.